Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update. This one is mostly going to be focused on the new February update for the Avatar Legends role-playing game Kickstarter, but first just some quick things to cover. The first of which is this. Avatar The Last Airbender Chibi's Volume 1, Aang's Unfreezing Day, has been delayed again. It's now coming out the 28th of June, 2022. So this has been delayed by 2 weeks now, and I suppose it's now, this is the same day as Patterns in Time, I believe. So this has tended to be what's happened, unfortunately, with a lot of Avatar stuff, is that instead of any sense of like the few things that you have being spread out over the course of the year, there's usually maybe two 3 week periods where nearly everything comes out in during the year. And it's just weird that there's so many gaps, and that Dark Horse don't have a book until the Free Comic Book Day book in May, basically, in terms of new stuff. But then all of a sudden there's two. The Avatar and the Korra comic are both out on the same day at the moment. Now I assume there will be delays beyond that. Patterns in Time seems destined to be delayed again, probably. But this is the, I believe, 6th delay for this book. This book that was only announced last February, so it's received 6 delays in a year, and has been pushed from, I think, initially being announced as being a September release, or I might even be getting that wrong, something like that, a September release, and it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and is now nearly July. And the problem with this book, again, is we still know next to nothing about it. It's only 48 pages. It is a hardcover, so that speaks to it being a little bit different. But, I'm just interested. I'd like some preview pages for this. We'll see what happens with it. The only other thing is just that there's a main image for the cookbook gift set. So we had the image of what the apron that it comes with is going to be like. We've had this for a while. Why did that come up like that? Either way, you can see that's what it is. That's what the set is actually going to look like. The cookbook is nice if you're interested in that. I have a video up quickly going over, my thoughts on the cookbook itself. I have no real desire to kind of double dip just to get the apron or anything like that, so it's just there. The news, though, is this. We have Update 24, Core Book PDF Delivery. Now, spoilers, you're not getting it today. That's the main takeaway from this. There's a lot of words to effectively just say this. This is the update. We estimate that the PDF deliveries will begin on February 21st. So after weeks and weeks missing the January deadline, they still can't fully say for sure that it definitely is February 21st. Look, they're talking about the approvals things again. We get it. Has to go through multiple rounds of approvals and so on. They say it's in the final step of approval. They can do it very, very soon. Everyone should have their PDF by the end of February. They say it'll be end of February because the system can only process so many files per day. So if you don't get your file on the 21st, please be patient. We promise it will get to you. This is, I suppose, one of the things that, everyone's waiting to finally get something from this. It's been a while now. People are rightfully going to be disappointed if they don't get theirs the day this starts. And if this starts to go on for weeks and weeks, it is going to become a problem. Because already it seems like it's a bit of a problem. Even just people currently trying to get the quick start guide. It seemed like a lot of initial people didn't really have much of a problem, but it seems like it's a massive problem for a lot of people signing up more recently to try and get their hands on it. So with the numbers at play in this project, I just kind of wonder if this will go super, super smoothly, because something needs to go right eventually for this in terms of I don't really feel there's been any super positive updates on this since the Kickstarter came to an end. It's all been delays, and still there's no real tease or preview or anything like that. So we're literally just gonna go from initial kind of quick start thing that we had since the start to just final book, They do say what is it as well? Like they do mention that the Wan Shi Tong guide is also in the approvals process. But it's at, I suppose, the earlier stage of feedback, so that'll probably have to go through a few more rounds of approvals and stuff like that. They say everything's more or less, laid out, so it will just be final details. So I guess it won't be too long until we get the Wan Shi Tong stuff. So that is good to know that, like, last time when they mentioned it, it felt like it might be months between it. Now it feels like it's probably just going to be a few weeks between us getting this as well. They do mention stuff like, there's a couple of weeks for feedback and stuff like that, and so on. But the only other thing is that they mention, they're nominated for an award. You can go here to vote for them if you so wish. But February 21st. At least we have some sort of a date. My basic thoughts kind of heading into this update were that I felt that they had to set a date that was within 2 weeks of the posting of this. And they have actually done that. Thankfully, just about. Because if they had said that this was going to be like, the last day of February, or it would go into March, that's I think too much of a problem. At least they're still roughly on track. At least we're going to have some new piece of content relatively early in the year. So hopefully I will be able to get mine quite early on, because I did back it on like the first day. So I suppose that is something kind of going for it, is that like I'm within the first, however many backers. So hopefully I'm in the first batch of people getting it. So within the first day, 2, 3, hopefully I'll have it. And I'll do some sort of content on it. The thing with this is, like, obviously, what are we expecting? Because, look, I've probably said this before. I don't have too much of an interest in the actual game itself. I think that became very clear to me when I read through the quick start and the preview kind of thing that they put out for it, the quick start guide or whatever it is. I didn't really like the system and stuff like that. I'll read through it to see what they have in terms of what details they have about, names of like bending moves and stuff like that. But it's mainly the sort of lore information stuff that's going to be a part of this that I am interested in. And the big thing obviously is this section, the eras. They're going to cover stuff on this. And this is the thing that I say for a lot of people probably sold them on this, is that the core book includes a setting chapter with 50 plus pages of information about the eras, including important characters and plot hooks for each, in addition to never before released canon material on Avatar Roku's era. So that's effectively what we're looking at in terms of like the new content. Why I think this has to be at least somewhat featured in like new content coming out this year. Most of this book is just going to be rules for how to play the game and stuff like that, but there is going to be a section that is actual canonical information about the universe. And for Korra, Aang, this era roughly, and now Kyoshi's era, we know the gist of those eras. The problem is we don't actually know a lot about Roku's era beyond just the Fire Lord Sozin tensions, but those are sort of, the transition from this into this. So we don't actually know a lot about the era where Roku was sort of, active as the Avatar. So that information is effectively going to have to tell us stuff about what was going on with like the other nations during that era. Who were other key characters that are related to sort of Roku? I guess maybe his bending masters. Did he have a team Avatar? None of that is obviously clear from what is presented to us, because the Roku backstory is very focused on just, he does his training as the Avatar, he knows Monk Gyatso, and we meet characters like, I guess, you have Sud and stuff like that, but I guess they might like name his other masters and like give us more information on specifically like who they are and stuff like that, and more kind of dynamics like that. That's what's going to be, I think, very, very interesting about this book. Now, if you go into this, obviously, I'm guessing like they have to treat it as if you might not have seen like almost anything. So they're going to have to give roughly the same amount of time to all of the eras. So the idea of 50 plus pages, that means Roku's era probably only gets like 10 pages, 10, 11 pages. And that's probably where most of the focus is going to be. I hope the book actually has a bit more content than that. And there probably will be some little things that we'll maybe be questioning after reading the book of like, can we view that as canon or not? Or is it literally just this one section? I think there's going to be a lot of stuff like that. But it should be fun either way, just to read a big book that is talking about Avatar stuff, even if the majority of it is just about the game. So, yeah, that's basically everything that's happened so far. Obviously, next week we have the Viacom Investors event where we might get an update on Avatar Studios. But like I discussed in my video earlier this week, I think it's probably more like it might get mentioned and we maybe might get like a name and maybe a logo for the movie, the first project, and that's really about it. But that would be news, but it depends on how they present it. But that it's not even guaranteed they will mention it, and that's how sort of crazy things are at the moment. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. Another delay to a comic, another look at the gift set, and February 21st as the sort of estimated date when they will start releasing the PDFs for the Legends role-playing game. What are your thoughts on this? But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.